When I first read the message, my hands went cold. I'm taking the kids to my parents and asking for full custody. I stared at those words on my phone screen for a long time, wondering if this was real or some cruel prank. We had arguments, sure, but never once did I think she'd take it this far. My wife, Hannah, was always calm and composed, the type who avoided conflict. But now she was declaring war in a single text. That morning had started like any other. I left early for work after a brief, tense conversation about bills and schedules. She seemed distant lately, quiet, always scrolling through her phone or stepping outside to take calls. I chalked it up to stress. Life had been heavy since I lost my job 6 months ago, and even though I found a new one, the tension never really lifted. I tried calling her after reading the text, but she didn't answer. I called again and again, only to be sent to voicemail each time. My chest tightened. I left work early and drove home, my mind racing through every memory of our last few months together. The laughter had faded. The warmth had gone. Somewhere, I must have missed the signs. When I got home, the silence was deafening. The kids' toys were gone, their clothes drawers half empty, her closet cleared out. Even the framed family photo from our last vacation was missing. It was like she had carefully erased herself and the kids from the house in a matter of hours. I sat on the couch, the weight of it all pressing down. Had I been such a bad husband? I wasn't perfect, I knew that. I worked long hours, came home tired, sometimes snapped without meaning to. But I loved my family more than anything. Losing them this way felt like the ground had given way beneath me. That night, her brother called. He said Hannah was safe, that she just needed time and space. I wanted to ask why she had to take the kids, why she had to talk about custody as if I were some stranger. But I held back, trying to sound calm, hoping reason could still win. He hung up before I could say much. The following week, I received official papers. Custody petition. Her lawyer claimed I was emotionally neglectful, unstable, and unfit to care for our children. My knees nearly buckled reading it. I couldn't believe the woman I once held through every hardship was now painting me as a danger. I hired a lawyer too. She told me it would be tough, that family courts often favor the mother. But she also said the truth had a way of surfacing. I clung to that. I started gathering everything, texts, photos, records of my involvement in the kids' lives. I wasn't going to lose them without a fight. Weeks passed. I barely slept. My house felt like a museum of memories. Every corner reminded me of laughter that no longer existed there. Yet, in that silence, I began to reflect. Maybe Hannah hadn't just left overnight. Maybe she had been slipping away for a long time, while I was too caught up trying to keep us financially afloat. The first hearing was tense. Hannah wouldn't even look at me. Her parents sat beside her, glaring as if I was some villain. I wanted to shout that they were wrong, that I was still the same man who had built a life with her. But instead, I kept calm and let my lawyer speak. During cross-examination, Hannah's own statements began to unravel. Her claims of me being absent didn't match with school records showing I attended every parent meeting. Her accusations of anger issues fell flat when witnesses, our neighbors and even her own cousin, described me as patient and gentle. After the hearing, I found Hannah outside, wiping tears from her eyes. For the first time in months, she looked unsure. I approached carefully and asked, "Why, Hannah? Why did you do this?" She didn't answer right away. Then, with trembling lips, she said, "I thought you stopped caring. I thought we were already over." It hit me then, she wasn't trying to destroy me out of hate. She was trying to protect herself from the emptiness she thought I'd left her in. Misunderstanding had grown between us like a wall. By the time either of us noticed, it was too high to climb easily. The court eventually ruled for shared custody. It wasn't a victory or defeat, it was a truce. I got to see my kids every week, and slowly, Hannah and I learned to speak without bitterness again. The wounds didn't vanish, but time began stitching them quietly. Now, months later, when I look at that first message again, I don't see just anger. I see desperation, a cry from someone who felt unseen. And though our marriage didn't survive, I learned something vital. Silence in love is far louder than words. When one person stops trying to understand, the other eventually stops speaking. But I'll never stop showing up for my kids. And maybe, in some way, that's how I can still make right what once went terribly wrong.